Good morning, everybody. What am I doing today? I'm heading out on an adventure. It's raining already. There's a front or something coming through this morning. And then the boat ramp that I've chosen to go to says it may be temporarily closed, so getting a good start to the trip. But it's all right. We'll find somewhere to put the boat in. This rain is supposed to pass. It doesn't even look like it's raining where we're going. It looks like it's already passed there when I watched the radar. So anyway, I will check in at some point, either at the boat ramp or on the water or somewhere in between if anything interesting happens. I drove through the front. The weather's nice up here. The rain's cleared out. Temperatures are good, but I have no clue about this river. I found the boat ramp. It was a little bit packed, but I was the only full-size boat. It was just kayaks and everything. So talked to one of the guys at the ramp who had been here before. He said he thought I should be okay in the John boat. There's a lot of rocks in here. But anyway, gonna fish out here for 3-4 hours, and then I have a campsite reserved at a state park, and we're gonna go there and relax in the afternoon. I'm thinking there might be some places to fish in the state park, but right now we're just exploring. I'm headed downstream, and at some point gonna start fishing. There's, from what I've heard, Swanee bass in here, which I've never caught Swanee bass before. The water's pretty clear. The only fish I've seen is a couple of mullet swimming by. But other than that, I'm pretty hungry. It's gonna be later till I get to cook, so I'm gonna have me a little broccoli slaw snack to get me through, and I'll turn on the camera when I start fishing. Water's about 7 or 8 feet deep right here. I have no idea where to catch fish at here. But on a positive note, the weather is absolutely beautiful today. So well, little update. I ain't caught shit. This is a beautiful river, crystal clear, but I have not even seen a bass. Seen a couple, might have been small panfish, but I feel so out of place. I'm the only motorboat on this. There's kayaks and paddle boards everywhere. It looks like more of a party river, but I'm gonna explore a little bit more. I'm back towards the boat ramp. I'm gonna go upstream and see what it looks like, and I'll check back in after a while. Just found this cool spot. It's right by the ramp. If you can see the water bubbling in it, that's actually a spring-fed section right there. And my friends that I met at the ramp told me up here right before a shallow spot they saw hundreds of fish. They don't know what kind they were. I don't know if it's mullet or something else, but might as well go check it out while I'm here. Holy crap, people. This was a cluster at the ramp. I ain't ever seen nothing like it. I was just trying to pull my boat out and people cutting in front of each other. It's all kayaks and paddle boards. And one lady just blocking up the ramp with her paddleboard. It took me, it seemed like an hour to pull the boat out, but evidently I was talking to a local, and one of the other popular ramps in the area is closed down already. But I'm gonna go to the state park for right now, do a little bit of research and see what's around this area. So anyway, whew, out of that mess, and I'll check in after a while. All right, I'm here at the state park, It's a pretty camp area. It's a little bit tight. I actually showed up a weekend early. I don't know why. All week I'm like, this is my weekend for this state park. And I got here and they're like, I don't have you for this weekend. But they have plenty of sites open, so I just switched to a reservation, which actually works out a little bit better for me anyway, with stuff coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and make the best of it. The river, as far as fishing, didn't turn out to be much, but it is a nice river. Be a nice place to float down on a paddleboard or something, or a little canoe. But I believe I'm going to unhook the boat and drive around and explore this state park. There's a swim area down by the river and things like that. I think I'm going to go check that out, see what everything's about. All right. I walked down to the river here in the state park. You can fish, and there's about a 2-pound bass in front of me sitting in this little hole. I can't tell if it's a Swanee or not, but there's only one other person I've seen here with fishing poles, so I might have to be making a run back to camp to get my fishing poles. I'm going to scope it out a little bit more. Here's the river. Pretty little spot. I'm out here walking some trails that parallel the river. It's a pretty place. Talked to 2 people that were fishing and they both said the same thing. The bass were very spooky. As soon as their lure was getting near them, they were going the other way. I imagine I'll still probably try them out though. Maybe this afternoon or first thing in the morning. I don't know. Right now I'm still just kind of exploring, looking for different fishing spot possibilities. So probably spend another half an hour or so walking around, looking at stuff, and then head back to camp. Maybe go ahead and set it up or something. I don't know. I'm just taking it easy, enjoying the afternoon. Hey everybody. It's about 3:15, and it's got hot out here. I got back to camp. I got the tarp and the tent set up and a few tables. Haven't set any cooking gear up yet or anything. I'm just gonna sit in the shade and chill out. I'm in one of these cold bears. But I'm gonna show you all the setup real quick. This is the first time I set this tarp and tent up, so I'm sure I'll perfect my system as I go. But anyhow, let me show y'all what I got. So I utilized the boat, as you can see, tied a ridge line to a fence post over there, run it over to Johnson, and I also used the boat for a tie off here for one of the corners of the tarps. I like this tarp. I got it off Amazon, waterproof, lightweight. I used my anchor pole from the boat. I just tied the tarp to it, used the anchor pole. Got a little table there, a little table there. That's where I'm gonna cook. There's a fire pit out back. And it's my little 2-man tent. I don't have my bedding or anything in there yet, but everything's covered up by the tarp. It's not supposed to rain, but figured that if we have any dew, that'll keep the dew off. So that's my setup. I held my tarp to the ridge line. I use these little clamps that came with the tarp, if you can see that. Little screw-on clamp, and then I just use a prusik knot to pull it tight across the ridge line. So that's home for the night. I'll get back with y'all in, I don't know, an hour or so, whenever the sun starts going behind some trees. It's kind of crazy. Like, there's big tall trees all over me, all over the place, and my camp is the one little sunny spot. 90% of the camps in here have got shade, but mine is probably the sunniest spot in here. So anyway, we'll get some shade here after a little while. I'm just gonna chill and enjoy this beer and get back to it when I'm done with it. See you in a bit. And get y'all some bacon vision. Oh yeah. So that bacon is going to be for bacon and Brussels sprouts. That's what I'm making to go with my steak. All right, so while the bacon's cooking, I'm gonna cut up some Brussels sprouts. Alright, while the bacon's cooking, the Brussels sprouts are cut up. I brought a beer to have, and this one I'll have to be careful with. Golden Monkey, big can. I'm gonna sip on this while the Brussels sprouts and bacon are cooking. And that's gonna take quite a while, so it'll be a while till we're ready for the steaks, but I'll check in with y'all then. Until then, cheers. Time for a little more bacon vision. Look at that. I tell you, this is kind of working perfect. My new little stove is working good. Got this set up. Had to do some redneck ingenuity to level up the table. Got running water and power. I'm gonna show y'all what I rigged up for a light for later. So we got power, so I got one cord. Got a cord running over from the 30 amp service, and I got 3 plugs there. I'm gonna run a cord in the tent later, but check this out. I zip tied that to my anchor pole. Should be pretty nice setup. Not that I'm ever awake that long after dark, but pretty nice little light for camp. So anyhow, back to the cooking process. Alright everybody, Brussels sprouts are done. I just put some cheese on them, and I'm gonna get my steak ready to go on. So we're getting close. I'm getting hungry. It's almost 5 o'clock. This Golden Monkey, this thing got me wanting to swing from the trees around here. This is what we got. Ribeye. It's a vacuum sealed. For some reason it was like $3 cheaper a pound for the vacuum sealed one, but I'm sure it'll be delicious. We'll hit it up with some Everglades and do it in an iron skillet. The pan's heating up for the steak, but I want y'all to look at this. That is the Brussels sprouts, cheddar cheese, and bacon. Pan's about ready for the steak to go on. The steak got the Everglades season. I did rub it with a little bit of peanut oil. And I'm gonna go ahead and put her in here. Might have been a little premature, but happens to the best of us. Still working on my golden monkey. Mystical flavors to enlighten you. I feel enlightened, but I don't think it's the mystical flavors. I think it might be the 9.5 ABV. I just flipped the steak and it is looking good. I ended up pouring the rest of the bacon grease in there and cooking the steak in it, so I think it'll be delish. Alright, that steak is done. I just turned the heat off. I'm going to let it rest for a little while and then make me a plate. I'll check with you then. Alright, finally dinner's ready. I'm getting ready to eat, and here's what it looks like. Steak, I just cut it, seems really tender, and big old pile of Brussels sprouts, cheddar cheese, and bacon. I was just walking right down the trail, and right there, don't think y'all can see it, but there's a buck in velvet right there. He's staring at me. He's about 45 yards away. Cool. Anyway, coming up to one of the little fishing holes earlier where I saw bass in there. Anyway, like I said, fishing hole up here where I saw bass earlier. That's where the one guy said they weren't paying any attention to his bait. There's that buck in velvet. He's still just standing right there. It looks like a 3D archery tournament right there. He's just standing there perfect broadside about 35 yards away. That's really cool.
Good morning. Well, I slept good last night. I did have an alarm set for 6 this morning, but I woke up. I slept good except for the time I'm fixing to tell you about. I woke up around 2:30. Thought it was earlier, or thought it was later. Read for about, just grabbed my book and read for about 20 minutes or so. Went back to sleep, but I turned my alarm off, decided I'd just get up whenever, and it's almost 7 o'clock, so it's good. The little air mattress thing I got off on Amazon held up pretty well. It didn't deflate any during the night, so that was good. I was worried about that, so. Anywho, I'm going to get up, get some coffee going, and get everything ready to hit the road. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
Well, everything is hooked up and ready to ride home. Took me about an hour and 15 minutes, but camp's all cleaned up. I usually just go straight home from stuff like this, but there is a Bass Pro Shops that's right on my way home in Ocala. I may stop there. So anyway, I'll see y'all on the next adventure. The camp is all cleaned up.